Jordan Peterson was on Fox News with Jesse Waters to talk about his new book, We Who Wrestle With God, and was asked about what it takes for us to overcome the evil, hardship, and suffering that we all inevitably experience in this life. And you're going to want to hear his answer. This is classic Jordan Peterson, but it also points to why we must remain as individuals and as a nation under God.
Many people in America right now, their life has no meaning. It's just pleasure, watching TV, eating. Why is the desire for meaning so important, and how do you arrive there?
Well, there's two ways of thinking about that. We're arranged biologically and spiritually so that we find the deepest meaning in acting out the patterns that are most productive psychologically, socially, and in the long run. That's different than happiness. That's more akin to the sense of purpose and accomplishment that might flood over you, let's say, if you accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. That's a marker from the deepest recesses of your soul that you're on a path that's going to unite you with other people. It's going to stabilize you psychologically. It's going to make you a blessing to yourself. That's the terminology from the story of Abraham. It'll help you establish something of long-term permanent significance. It'll make you a good father. It'll make you a good mother, a good husband, a good citizen, the sort of person that people want to be around voluntarily. All of that's associated with meaning, and that's associated in turn with, well, you might say voluntary responsible conduct. It's something like that. And that's the right basis for psychological stability and for community. It's not arbitrary. There's a pattern to it.
And you need to have personal responsibility, personal accountability, and a little sacrifice. That's been missing in a lot of places these days.
Well, we haven't told a story of responsibility, really, especially to young people, not effectively for about 4 generations. And the consequence of that is a crisis of meaning. And it's so strange that the antidote to meaning of a crisis of meaning is, in fact, voluntary responsibility. And people know this because one of the things that, what would you say, is of great benefit to everyone is to understand that your efforts have been well received by the people that you're serving. That's something that you can comfort yourself on many a long and dark night, that you've actually been of some genuine utility to other people you love, maybe even people that are your enemies, if you were able to conduct yourself at the highest possible level of virtue. And there's a very tight relationship between the voluntary acceptance of high levels of responsibility and the meaning that sustains you even when you're suffering. That's a wonderful thing to know. Why work hard? Why be of service to other people? Because it imbues your life with the significance that enables you to tolerate the difficulties of your existence and without bitterness and with hope. That's all associated with meaning. The stories of the Bible, they're about you, whether you know it or not. Obviously, who else would they be about?
The biblical stories are about you. We are not talking about an arbitrary set of rules for a primitive people. We are talking about the best way to live for individuals and as a nation. When we orient ourselves properly to God, our source, our creator, it allows us to live and thrive and have what it takes to withstand the adversity, hardship, evil, and suffering that we all inevitably experience. The primary driver of meaning in our lives is to take on our God-given purpose and responsibility and sacrifice ourselves for others. This is why you must take up your cross. That's what it means. This is what it means to follow Christ. In fact, you are called to give up your life for it. And when you do so, this is precisely where you will find life in full. This is why you see this in my background of every video. And it's why I don't start my day without looking onto it constantly to remind myself again and again and again and drill through my thick skull what I'm doing all of this for, who I'm doing all of this for on a daily basis. Remaining aligned with God and remaining in truth is the way to life.